Igniting. My brain starts igniting when Shane starts writing. God placed us in this fighting to speak and enlighten. We don't sleep to dream, we sleep to build stamina, energy to do our thing. Get your camera lights dim, the chat starts to grin. The stream is live and buffering, the show is about to begin. So sit down and buckle it in. This is Unleashed, breaking through the screen. Pop culture chaos, living the dream. Every Monday and Thursday, pop culture unleashed, living the...
You know the problem with Hollywood is? They make shit. Unbelievable, unremarkable shit.
To those who can hear me, I say, do not despair.
Will you fight? No! We will run! And we will live!
Shame on you! This could be the greatest night of our lives. But you're gonna let it be the worst.
And I guarantee a week won't go by in your life you won't regret walking out, letting them get the best of you.
Well, I'm not going home.
Day may come when the courage of men fails, but it is not this day.
The line must be drawn here. This far, no farther.
I'm not saying it's gonna be easy.
You're gonna work harder than you ever worked before.
I really do believe that together we can accomplish anything.
Because we'll never stop learning and we'll never stop growing.
Failure is not an option.
That's how winning is done. Believe me when I say
We can break this army here. It has made us brothers. I say to you, what every warrior has known since the beginning of time.
You've got to get mad.
I mean plumb mad dog man.
If you would be free men, then you must
Fight to fulfill that promise. Let us
cut out their living guts
1 inch at a time.
And they will know what we can do!
Let no man forget how menacing we are. We are lions.
This is your time. Seize the day.
Never surrender. Victory or death.
So come on then! Take it!
This is where we hold them. This is where we fight.
All right!
Let's fly!
My name is the Lord. When I
tell our enemies that they may take our lives, but they'll never take
our Independence Day.
You, the people, have the power to create machines, the power to create happiness. You, the people, have the power to make this life free and beautiful, to make this life a wonderful adventure. Then in the name of democracy, let us use that power. Let us all unite. Let us fight for a new world.
We don't sleep to dream, we sleep to build stamina, energy to do our thing. Get your camera out. This show is about to begin, so sit down and buckle it in. Let's go!
Hey everybody, welcome to the show. My name is Brian and you are watching Pop Culture Unleashed. Unfortunately today, I'm not sure if Danny's even going to be here. He is working. And my brother, who is normally here, for all you people that missed the last couple shows, he is not going to be back for 2 weeks. He is out on tour, touring the country. It's a long story. I'll let him tell it when he gets back. But I am here, and you are here, and we're going to talk about some awesome stuff. It's not clickbait. There's something I watched that legitimately made me appreciate the Acolyte. I know it's crazy, but you got to see it. You got to see it to believe it. We're gonna watch that together. Also, we're gonna talk about The Boys episode 7, just a little bit, not too much. And I'm really something that Shane really likes to talk about. We're gonna talk about conspiracy theories because I found an iceberg that is just ripe with so many cool theories, and we're just gonna go through them. And of course, the members section, where we get to let our hair down, take our pants off, and really get weird. So, if you are new here, do me a favor and consider subscribing, because we are an awesome channel. And and regardless of whether you're new or not, hit the like button. And I gotta say this for the algorithm: if you're watching this on archive, do me a solid and go down to the comment section while I'm talking and give me your best conspiracy theory. I want you to give me your wildest, most wacky conspiracy theory in the comment section because it's all about engagements on YouTube, right? All right, 1 second, I got a cough. All right. So, without further ado, thank you guys for being here. We got a super chat from Kenneth the Rogue coming in hot. $50. Damn, Ken. Thank you, sir. You are the man. I really appreciate that, my friend. Oh, thank you, Archmage, for reminding me. We are also going to talk about the new Superman set photos because it's getting weird, and I'm here for it. I'm really here for it. Okay, so before we get too far into the weeds here, let's talk about Star Wars Acolyte. By the way, Ken, thank you so much for that, my friend. You are a rock star. But let's talk about Star Wars Acolyte. I've made it very clear that I detest Star Wars The Acolyte. I detest most modern Star Wars or Disney Star Wars. I have no interest in it whatsoever. I am apathetic. I've gotten to the point where I no longer am mad about Star Wars, about Disney ruining Star Wars. I'm apathetic. I don't care. And so I'm on this stream on Saturdays with the Salty Nerd guys. It's always a fun time, but recently we are covering the Acolyte, and every time I see the Acolyte pop up, I'm like, ugh, why do we have to talk about this again? But then someone sent me something on Twitter that really made me appreciate the Acolyte, and we're going to watch it together as a group. And I think that you'll like it too. This was made by a YouTuber named Space Ice. And basically, he goes through the majority of the season, the season, and he just riffs on it, and it's hilarious. It's honestly, it makes me appreciate the Acolyte, because without the Acolyte, I would not get this hilarious entertainment. So, by proxy, I have to say, thank you, Disney Star Wars, for giving us such a horrible piece of garbage that someone had to make something entertaining out of it. And I'm just going to get right into it because it's good stuff. All right. So again, this is from Space Ice. I will put the link in the description below for everyone watching on archive. There we go.
Always and without exception, everything you love will die. It starts off in some bar where this lady begins saying normal things.
Attack me with all your strength.
So they all bust out laughing. Because who talks like that?
Right. Then I remember watching this again, like, why is she just walks up. Anyways.
And what the fuck is that pose?
It's so weird.
I have no quarrel with you.
Yes, you do.
She has no idea what that's about, but used to know a guy with memory problems and is worried it's happening to her. Oh shit! She doesn't remember him doing anything. This is bad. And you know she's legit because she takes out these highly trained fighters who came straight from a Steven Seagal-like.
Yeah, look at, he doesn't even try to hit her or kick her or anything. He just leans into her kick.
Keto demonstration.
Oh, he can't get his gun out. He can't get his gun out.
So she's their only hope, and luckily, she's still got it and looks 2 halves her age while giving us an all-time great fight scene. We get a sick magic push, followed by some intense walking, a balls-to-the-wall sidestep, and another magic push.
Magic push. Force push. He's talking about force pushing.
I'm pretty sure she slices her own arm with...
Yeah, she does. So you see the position of the knife. There is no way that knife is not sticking into her forearm right now.
The knife before blowing us away with something we've never seen before. Just kidding, fucking magic push. What can she do against such a versatile attack? I don't know. Maybe motherfucking magic push.
That got me so hard. All right, so this guy, the way he sets up these jokes, it's all a little bit funny, and then there's like a perfect joke that just lands. This guy, his name is Space Ice on YouTube. Go look him up. He's really very funny.
This has turned into quite the game of checkers. Then we get a major twist that will shock you to the core.
I'm here to kill you.
Holy shit! That explains the relentless knife attack. How did we not see it? Then she kills Memento in the craziest way possible. Fucking knife attack! She never could have seen that coming. Now they're doing some space welding. When son of a bitch, there's a chlorine trifluoride leak. This is officially the most science-y movie since Time Cop. Meanwhile,
since Time
these
Cop?
two show up wearing aprons and
This is
lifting
great, this is
belts,
great, watch
so
this.
you know they're ready for anything.
This is a cargo ship.
The demon ladies heard enough of this shit, so they flash gang signs.
Sub-level.
So they flash gang signs.
23.
That's what they fucking thought. Hellside represents.
Hellside represents.
They're there to question her.
When did you join the Order?
But that's boring, so they just start roasting.
A major concern about admitting you to the Order was your age.
They didn't want you in the first place.
Your training was difficult, to say the least.
And you were
I'm gonna go forward here.
Trust them.
Oh, this is great. Watch this.
Nobody told their either. What a loser. Now we see kids being told their eyes are liars.
Watch this.
Your eyes can deceive you.
And nobody would believe them anyways.
We must not trust them.
And they'll get in trouble if they tell anyone.
Give yourselves over.
You know, Disney things.
You know, Disney things. And that reminds me, there's a hilarious meme that I saw around the same time as this video that really just puts the button, the cherry on top of this video. Look at this. So in that scene, now close your eyes and tell me what you see. I literally can't. It's great. All right, back to the video.
It consumes anything that tries to stop it.
Yeah, pretty much. So now she's a prisoner.
I'm gonna go forward a little bit.
Instantly. They abandoned stingy Bill Peace perfectly fine. Luckily, this giant rock breaks its fall. So she's perfectly fine.
You wouldn't believe who I just saw.
So it bebops to her that it's a fucking calculator and doesn't give a shit. Then, son of a bitch, it's a rescue ship.
Okay, so that also reminded me of this SNL sketch, and I can only show a little bit of this. But if you have not seen this, I will also put the link in the description. There's an SNL sketch about Star Wars, where who is it? It's some famous sports guy. I'm not good with sports. I don't care about sports very much. What's this guy's name? Oh, Charles Barkley. And this is from Star Wars. It's where he's like shocked that they can understand the droids.
A group of
Here we
get in, looking handsome as ever. About that, I'm gonna have your money. I just need a little more time. Yeah, well, look who's talking, pal.
Watch Charles Barkley. This is Charles Barkley on the left, on the far left.
Al. Thanks, but I don't date slugs.
Man, how y'all speak so many languages? This is crazy.
Go watch it. I can't show the whole thing because they're weird about copyright. I'll put the link in the description and once the video archives. It's really funny. Or just search SNL Star Wars. It's really quite funny. All right, here we go back to this.
So she fucking bails. Then they copy The Fugitive.
I didn't do it!
Only this time with real actors. And Magic Push.
Magic Push. All right, I'm going to go forward a little bit. Okay, this is a great part.
get another incredible fight scene against a guy who fights just like Seagal, only with much more energy.
more energy than Seagal. He's not moving.
When she's done embarrassing herself, she visits her buddy, Ezra Miller.
Okay, go forward, Ezra Miller. Jesus, he looks like Ezra Miller a little bit.
Hold on. Sorry, bro.
Like an Asian version? Alright, go forward. There we go.
Got real. They sent in their A-team to just stare at this guy. Oh shit, they're busted now. Oh shit, they're busted now. It's gone. Never mind.
Alright.
Test.
Here we go.
Which is
Here's the
how
good
they
part.
get you. Now they're gonna be tested.
Test has two outcomes: pass or a fail.
Thanks, Barbara Streisand. Super fucking helpful. Armed with those juicy tips, he nailed.
Wait, where's the part about the power of many? I think it's over here.
He's the great. And they fumble. It looks.
Oh, I missed it. Okay, I'm not going to show you the whole thing. There's a lot there. Go watch it. It's like 20 minutes. We've already watched like 10 minutes of it. It's pretty funny. I'll put the link in the description. But the reason I said I love the Acolyte now is because this, honestly, I'm sorry, it's like 13 minutes. This made me laugh my butt off. I watched it twice. I sent it to people. It was really, really quite funny. And you know what? Without the Acolyte and all of its garbage, we wouldn't have gotten this video that just made me die. Okay. We got a super chat from Frodo Lives. What's up, Frodo? I'm dying here, little space ice. It's really good. It's really good. Okay. Thank you, Frodo. All right. Yeah. So listen, I'm not covering the Acolyte. I have no interest in the Acolyte whatsoever. I'm only watching it because I'm being forced to, basically, against my will. It's like eye rape, having to watch this. It's Matt Kadish just forcing me to watch this every week so we can speak about it on the Saturday show. So I'm not going to do that on my show, especially when my show takes place literally 2 days before the Saturday show. But because of how bad it is, we got that awesome clip from Space Ice. So listen, go check it out. It's really funny. All right, let's talk about The Boys a little bit. If you haven't watched The Boys, if you are following The Boys and you haven't seen episode 7, I'm going to try to stay away from spoilers. Not too many spoilers. I'm not going to go too crazy. I'm not going to give you like really obvious things. I'm not going to ruin it for you, but I did want to speak about a couple moments that I thought were really interesting. First off, there's people on different camps, 2 different camps for The Boys. Either they loved it and now they don't like it because it's leaning very heavily into the left-wing politics and it's satirizing right-wing a lot, and it's sort of going down that politically charged road. And there's people that really don't care, and because it's entertaining, they can get behind it. And yes, so both things are true. I am entertained by the show. I can see that it's going into it's definitely going into a liberal bent. It's giving a lot more criticism toward one side than is the other. But I don't really care. That's a prerogative. I'm still having a good time. And to be fair, some of the speeches that Firecracker gives in this show are actual speeches, or at least based on real speeches from some right-wing figures. So it's not. Look, there are crazy people on both sides of this thing, and some of these people talking about Jewish space slaves and all that, they're nuts. And their insanity should be showcased. Now, I do think that you should showcase both sides of the insanity, and they're definitely leaning toward the liberal side a little too hard. But whatever, it's very entertaining. Here's the thing about free speech. Another reason why I think free speech is so important is because good ideas flourish and bad ideas die in the sunlight. And I think it's really smart that we actually showcase people that are giving bad ideas. Don't stop them from talking. Allow them to speak. Allow them to put their insanity out there so that people can make a judgment call. Look, Kanye West. Imagine if they had just shut Kanye West up. And they attempted to. And then he went on Alex Jones' show and he was wearing like full black burqa or whatever. And he was... I don't know if you saw this. I don't even know if I can show it. But there's this moment where he's looking at Alex Jones and he's like, yeah, listen, you know, I don't, can I say the guy's name? How far are we in? We're 20 minutes in. All right. He's talking about Hitler, right? And he goes, you know, and this, by the way, I am quoting Kanye West. It's not me speaking. He goes, you know, yeah, Hitler had some good ideas, and Hitler wasn't really a bad guy. And Alex Jones is like, one minute there, wait a minute, yeah, I think you're not being literal here, right? And Kanye's like, no, Alex, I am being absolutely literal. He goes, well, you're not a Nazi or something, right? He goes, no, Alex, I am a Nazi. I was dying. Look, people that are crazy and have bad ideas shouldn't be shut down because they'll just get more crazy. People need to see that they're crazy. Good ideas flourish in the sunlight and bad ideas die in the sunlight. That's why all ideas should be heard. And if you haven't seen that, go look it up, dude. Go look up the Alex Jones Kanye West interview, and it is balls out ridiculous. John Burns, someone sent me this. Yes, it was John Burns. Thank you, John. I'm so sorry. John Burns sent me that clip from Space Ice on Twitter. Thank you, John. I forgot for some reason. I wasn't really thinking about it. Listen, Kanye, you're not an actual Nazi. You're not being literal here, right? No, Alex, I am definitely a Nazi. Can I show that? I'm gonna try to show it, dude. I think I can show it. I'm gonna see if I can. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna see if I can show it. It was so funny. Yeah, here we go. All right.
Oh my god.
Here we go. This is from Asmongold, and he hasn't been banned yet, so I suppose I can show it too.
Oh my goodness. Just because you don't like one group doesn't mean the other. But look,
I love Jewish people, but I also love Nazis.
Oh, good. Oh man. Well, I have to disagree with that. Hey, but listen, we're gonna go to
if you can make Alex Jones feel uncomfortable, then you are way too far gone.
Right. I'm the crazy one here. We're all crazy. The whole world's crazy.
It is impressive. I've never seen this happen.
And the whole power structure's coming down. This is absolutely lit. This is lit. Number one show in the world right now. Everybody's tuned in everywhere.
Alex Jones. Here we go. Here's another one.
Yes, sir.
I've got the perfect answer for the ADL. They are going to have to listen up. What we did is we brought...
That is Kanye West. He's wearing like a full face mask for some reason. He does that a lot. I don't really understand why.
Netanyahu with us.
Look at this.
I mean, I'm in the Twilight Zone right now.
Alex Jones, I'm in the Twilight Zone right now.
Netanyahu, what do you have to say? What do you have to say to Alex Jones right now, Nick Fuentes and Ye?
I'm not going to show this whole thing. So what he proceeds to do is he holds up the fly swatter like it's Netanyahu, or like net. I'm sorry, it's a net, and Yahoo. It's just insane. There's no other word for it other than insane. So Kanye West has officially gone insane. Although he does make, you know what they say, he made some good music, you know? But there's a point where no matter how good of an artist you are, you can't forgive it anymore. Yeah, he's wearing Snyder, Jeremy, he's wearing a face mask and a snowmobile jacket. That's correct. Very odd choice. Very odd choice. Anyways, back to the boys. The reason why I showed that was because I think it's important to showcase the insane side of both of the political divide, right? I do think that the boys is leaning a little hard on the right, but it's still entertaining, so it's fine. Just to be clear, I'll say it again. Firecracker's speech about Jewish space lasers is an actual speech. It's an actual thing that someone on the right said, some figure. So here's the stand-up moments for me. First off, Frenchie is back. They just, and this is a criticism. They just got him out of prison. Butcher pulled some strings, and they got him out of jail. And it just goes to show like his whole arc is dumb and completely pointless. So he killed this guy he met 5 minutes ago. He figures out that he actually killed the guy's family at some point, and the guy attacks him. He feels guilty. He didn't feel guilty for the first decade, but now he's guilty. And he goes and he turns himself in. He says that he murdered people. They put him in jail. It's supposed to be this big thing where Kamoku is trying to see him. He doesn't want to see her. And then they just get him out of jail. Like nothing happened. So that entire story arc is completely pointless. Him all of a sudden feeling that this heavy guilt makes no sense. That connection to this guy he's having sex with all of a sudden it's way too convenient. Him going to jail didn't accomplish anything. Now he's out. Nothing happened. And in a story where this leads to this, leads right back to your first starting point, that means that arc, that circular storytelling is dumb. Like they should just not include that part. And I know they need to pad their time or whatever. Like you need to show more of the characters. They want to flesh out more of Frenchie, but it just makes Frenchie look sort of weak, and there's no purpose to it. There's zero purpose to that storyline. So that's my criticism of The Boys so far, is all the stuff with Frenchie is dumb and makes no sense and has no purpose. So why is it here? I'm getting to the point where I'm like, I don't want to fast forward through all the Frenchie stuff, but I mean, shoot. So far, if I had fast forwarded through every Frenchie scene, nothing would have changed for me. So, what was I saying? Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, all right. So that was my criticism. What I liked about the episode was we saw Ryan, Homelander's son, finally standing up for himself and doing the right thing. All the Sesame Street puppets doing the Christmas song, about really hefty, far right talking points I thought it was pretty funny. I know there's some people that are sort of offended by it, but I wasn't offended. I thought it was funny. Seeing these like cute little Sesame Street things talk about grooming and stuff like that it's funny. It is funny. And then, so that was a good moment. We saw Brian, he's breaking away from his, from the programming that Homelander is attempting on him. So that's good to see. We didn't get much with the sentient tumor thing that's in Butcher's head. Obviously he made an appearance again, Dean Morgan, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, I think his name is. But, we didn't get to see what it can do. Here's my prediction on that. I think before this season ends, we're going to see that sentient tumor venom thing that's in his head. We're going to see it in full force. We're going to see it like come out of Butcher and just like with black tendrils and just rip someone apart or something crazy. We're going to see something like that happen because they're building up to that. They showed you what possibly happened between him and that religious guy, the preacher with the stretchy preacher guy, I forgot his name. But they didn't show it. And now they're setting up this sort of tease where like at any moment we're going to see this ability, but we haven't seen it. So they're probably going to save it for like the last episode. And here's my prediction. I think he's going to rip apart that senator chick, the one that can explode heads. I think his sentient venom tumor thing is going to come out of his mouth or his ears or something, pick up explodey head senator and just rip her apart. And that'll be like the finale. That's what I think. And I don't think Butcher's going to die this season. There's one more season, and he's way too much of a draw for them to put him down. But it's entirely possible they kill him off in the last season, because they're not, Kripke is not going to come back to this franchise after this is done, more than likely. So that's my prediction. I think that sentient tumor thing in that last episode is going to rip that senator in pieces. It's going to be the finale. It's going to be that last thing we see, right? As far as the virus thing they're trying to use to kill her and Homelander, I think it's going to fail. I think it's going to fail. I think that whole thing is just a red herring. I think it's just setting it up for Butcher to take out the senator. I do think that we're not going to see any conclusion between Homelander and the team this season because they're going to save it for the last season. And that means we're probably not going to get much more out of Homelander this season because we're almost done, right? I believe there's... How many episodes are there? Are there 10 episodes? I believe there are 10 episodes. Or maybe there's 8 episodes. Oh, it's only 8 episodes. All right, so like... There's only 8 episodes? Really? That's crazy. Does someone know how many episodes are there? There might only be 8 episodes. Yeah. Only 8 episodes, which means that next week is the last episode, season finale. So that should be fun. So next week, we're going to probably see Butcher tear apart the senator. I'm forgetting her name right now. I'll look it up. You know what's crazy? We haven't seen Jensen Ackles this season. Which sort of... Isn't that... We haven't seen them at all, have we? Interesting. Yeah, we have not seen Jensen Ackles, a.k.a. Soldier Boy. Yeah, they might end the season with Homelander in the White House. If they're following the comics, apparently Homelander becomes president or something, right? If I remember correctly. So we'll see how that goes. Wait, is there black goo? Yeah, I'm pretty sure Butcher's... His power is like this. So he took V, trying to cure himself of his brain tumor or whatever. And instead of dying... at first it looked like it did nothing, but now what he's seeing is like the tumor has V powers or whatever, and it's in his head, and I'm pretty sure it looks like black goo. I mean, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it does. It's like Venom, we are Venom. Ezekiel, stretchy preacher guy, yes, that was his name. Yeah, he just like tore him to pieces. So if he can tear the stretchy guy apart, then I don't think the senator has any, or whatever, the VP lady has any chance of in hell. What is her name? Can't even find it on the cast list. Oh, Victoria Newman. Yeah, he's gonna kill Newman, like for sure. It's gonna happen next week. I think his sentient tumor is gonna pick Newman up and just rip her to pieces. That'll be like the finale. That'll be the last thing. All right. What else? One last thing for the boys I thought was pretty good. The whole thing with the Deep. The Deep is such a weird, creepy, odd character to me. But he's also weirdly fascinating. I'm really enjoying the A-Train redemption arc. It's pretty cool. But the Deep falling deeper and deeper into like this villainous depravity is also pretty fascinating to watch. We finally saw the what's his name? Black Noir spoke in front of him and then flew, and they were all shocked that he could do any of those things. Because remember, Noir actually died last season, and they replaced him with another actor because no one's gonna know the difference. So I thought that was good. But the Deep getting more and more depraved, and even killing his octopus girlfriend, which right there, it's depraved and weird. That's just showing that he is becoming more and more villainous. And I think we're going to see a serious point where that comes to a head where he is just officially the bad guy. And like, not just a bad guy, but like he is going to be just as depraved and villainous as Homelander at some point, which I'm here for. That sounds cool to me. I don't know why they didn't try to kill him when they had him knocked out in that apartment. Mother's Milk says, I don't know, I'll kill him, do you? Like, I don't know. He's sitting there. He's unconscious. You can clearly hurt him with your fists. So just beat him to death. I don't know. But maybe they don't want to show Annie, Starlight, who is one of the heroes of the story, beating an unconscious man to death. I get that. That wouldn't work. But that's it. So this is the 7th episode. It was a Christmas episode for some reason, which I thought was weird. But a lot of things with the boys is weird. Everything's sort of weird, So that's their style. Next week is the last episode. If you're not watching it, I suggest you watch it. If you have Prime, or if you travel the high seas, however you get your media, no judgment here. Watch all 7 episodes. We can watch the 8th episode together. Have a big blowout stream. It'll be fun. John Burns, octopus girlfriend. No, too leggy. Don't want that. The octopus girlfriend thing is weird, bro. Oh, Archmage, good point. It was probably meant for Christmas, but the strike delayed it. That's possible. Yeah. All right. All the suction cup loving from those tentacles. That's right. Yeah, you're right. Also, Snyder says Starlight was looking pretty good. Yeah, so she had a lot of plastic surgery, but this episode she looked good, and maybe it's because she was, undressed for a portion of it, but she looked pretty good this episode. All right. So moving on from the boys, let's talk about conspiracy theories, because we only got about 20 more minutes before we go to the member section. That said, if you want to become a member, hit the join button below, because in 20 minutes we're going to go to the members section, where we're going to take our pants off, let our hair down, and just hang out, outside the public eye. And that's where we can really spread our weird conspiracy theories. All right, let's. Oh, you know what? One quick thing. There was some Superman. Before we go to the conspiracy theory stuff, there was a couple Superman photos that came out. Really, sort of crazy stuff. You gotta see it, and there was a video too. So let me show you real quick. All right. So check this out. This is from DC Leaks. DCU leaks. Let me get this. How do I zoom in on this? Oh, there it is. All right, so James Gunn is using a lot of practical stuff here, which I like. He it looks like they dug out a human size hole in the concrete, and it looks like a villain smashed him down in the concrete like they do in the cartoons and the comics, which is rad. Look at that. And he's stuck in the concrete. I think that's super cool. There's James Gunn right there. And it's all practical effects, which I find is really interesting. Yeah, there you can see the entire pit. And there's also a pretty rad video. Let me show you it real quick. And you know, if you're watching on archive, let me know in the comment section. Are you following the leaks? I don't know if these are spoilers as much as they are just set photos that give us an insight into what the story can be like, you know? Here's the actual video. So this is in Cleveland. Like, that's real traffic. Imagine driving by and seeing Superman in a hole. So it looks like there's a bunch of bystanders, like extras in the movie, and they're helping Superman out of the hole. So I think we're gonna get almost like a Spider-Man. You remember that movie Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire? How they helped Spider-Man after he saved everyone from the train, and they're like all, holding him and pushing him back. I think we're getting something like that. I think that they're helping all these bystanders that he protects on a daily basis are now helping him out of the hole. I like how this is taking place in a city and not some barren wasteland somewhere like the desert or whatever. I know famously I liked The Flash. A lot of people didn't like that movie. I got a kick out of it. But after the Man of Steel action scenes where people lost their minds about Superman collateral damage that happens inside cities, a lot of the DC movies after that took a lot of their big fight sequences out to remote areas. Either it was Rikers Island or it was in the middle of the desert somewhere. It's always the desert for some reason. They took their big ending fight scenes away from the population. And I understand that it's probably cheaper to do it that way, but it's also not really realistic. When I say realistic, I'm referring to like a comic point of view. When it comes to comics, most of these, in cartoons, most of these fights are taking place in Metropolis, in Central City, in whatever, Coast City. Like, they're taking place where the villains are trying to do the most damage. They're not, all of a sudden the villain's like, yeah, let's go out to the middle of the desert where we can beat up on each other without harming anyone. That's just not the way, that's not realistic. It's not believable for a comic book movie. So I like that this is taking place in Metropolis, with that's real traffic. I don't know what the hell that guy is throwing. Like, the guy on the boom appears to be throwing something. Look at this. Are those rocks? He's throwing something. But I like that's taking place, in a city. So, and at some point, some villain, probably Ultraman or whatever, slammed Superman down so far into the ground that he literally got stuck in the ground, which I think is rad. I think it's super rad. All right. Let's talk conspiracy theories, my friends. This is where it gets fun. Again, let me know what you guys think about the Superman leaks, please. Oh, you have members message from John Burns. Thank you for showing me. I'm sure Kanye wears that around the house. He thinks it's a mocap. He thinks he's a mocap actor. Motion capture. I mean, the greatest mocap actor. Love this video catch up. Dude. if you guys haven't seen, like, go look it up. Go look up that entire interview. It's really quite funny. Oh, you don't mean you're an actual Nazi, do you, Kanye? He goes, no, Alex, I'm an actual Nazi. I died laughing. Don't clip that. Don't clip that. All right, let's talk about conspiracy theories. All right. I found this online. I think it's actually pretty awesome. Let me pull up my notes. I made notes about every one of these things. All right. Here we go. All right. So this is the conspiracy theory iceberg. And if you notice at the top, we have Bigfoot, Bush did 9/11, Big Pharma, Illuminati, singers who really didn't die, The Simpsons, Atlantis, Ghosts, all this stuff, gay frogs. Speaking of Alex Jones, I'm telling you, they're turning the frogs gay. They're turning the frogs gay. But Michael Obama, that's Michelle Obama, but like they think that Michelle Obama is actually a man. Flat Earth, Pizzagate, 5G, reptile people, time travelers, etc. That's all above the waterline, right? That's like the stuff that you can easily find on Facebook that your grandma probably shares with you every once in a while. Below the waterline is the Denver International Airport, which a lot of weird stuff happens there. Roswell, QAnon, Egyptian architecture, Hollow Earth theory, which is fascinating if you haven't looked into that. By the way, I'm not saying I believe in any of this, but it's fun. It's interesting stuff. And you know what? Where there's smoke, there's fire. Some of these things probably are not even malicious, but I think it's very odd how some of these things are also hidden from people. For some reason, the government decides we're going to hide these things, and there's really no rhyme or reason for it. Crop circles are weird because there's crop circles that were created by people, but then there's also crop circles that could not have been created by people. And you gotta wonder, like, either what's creating these? Is it some giant, huge hoax, that a lot of people are in on? Or is it international demon people from the planet Vulcan? I don't know. You got Freemasons, Greek fire, the Kennedy assassination. Speaking of Robert Kennedy, RFK is sort of crazy. So he talks like this, like he always has a frog in his throat. It's really hard to understand him. Like, I have a speech impediment, so I'm not making fun of people that have a difficult time speaking, because I have a hard time speaking. But my God, someone clear this man's throat. They're trying to kill me like they killed my brother. It's like, it's so difficult to listen to this man speak, because the whole time you're just like, dude, someone give this guy a lozenge. Give him some, clear his throat. Okay. Anyways, moving on. We're going to talk a little bit about RFK, by the way. So when I get to that. Quantum mechanics, skinwalkers, Hitler in Argentina, speaking of Nazis, the Bohemian Grove, that's a real place. Alex Jones actually visited the Bohemian Grove. He did like this big expose. I went to the Bohemian Grove and there was some weird stuff going on there. Aztec gold, Nikola Tesla, chemtrails. Right. Now, we're getting a little deeper. Right? So now we're in the deep part. Mary Magdalene, ancient aliens, John Teeter, who is like a time traveler that used like a computer to time travel. Like, the whole thing. The Voynich manuscript. Teenage Jesus. That's a funny one. The Manchurian narrative. The Younger Dryas period. Also really cool. Jules Verne. The Great Reset. That's one of those right-wing things. Skull and Bones fraternity. That's a real fraternity, but I'm not sure if the malicious or not. The moon isn't real. Great. That's a great one. You got to look that up. Go Beckley Tepe, Sea People, blah, blah, blah. And then we go a little deeper. Psychedelic astronauts, Buzz Aldrin, Incan airplanes, Clockwork Elves. That's fun. That's a fun one. Don't sleep on that one. But the bottom, the very abyss, the very bottom is the really fun stuff. Hard to find information on. I tried to find information on every one of these things. This one was difficult. People who cannot think don't exist. The U.S. actually landed on the moon. The U.S. actually. So now there's a conspiracy theory about us landing on the moon. It's a whole thing. And like we have like a colony up there. The Vatican is the beast, like the beast, the number is 666. The rapture already happened. That's great. So in Christianity, the rapture is something at the end of times, before all hell breaks loose. God is going to call all his righteous people home so they don't have to go through the apocalypse, basically, right? Well, what this is theorizing is that the rapture already happened and we are the descendants of the people that were left behind, which works perfectly into God's last wish, which is like, or the we killed God theory, which means like he already wrote us off. This one, her, is referring to God's potential mate, the infinity paradox, and the final understanding. These are all very, like they're all circled around like very religious themes, but all really cool. All right, let's start at the top real quick. Yes, okay. So because you brought up Göbekli Tepe first, let's talk about the conspiracy of Göbekli Tepe. Okay. Where's it at? It's right. Where is that? Somewhere over here. Oh, there it is. Okay. So it's in the deep section. So here's a conspiracy about Göbekli Tepe. Yes, it is a archaeological site, but here's the conspiracy portion of it. A massive structure sprawling underground in Turkey that predates current notions of human civilization and requires technology not present at the time. Some people think it was an Armageddon shelter. So the conspiracy is that people believe that the previous civilizations, that there's been multiple civilizations before ours, and the previous one built Göbekli Tepe as like a Armageddon shelter, as like end of times shelter from whatever caused them to go extinct, whether it be a flood or an asteroid or aliens or the sea people or whatever, something that was whatever extinct, whatever took out the last civilization that caused the last reset. So people that believe in this also believe that we've gone through multiple civilization ending events, and we are like 5 or 6, civilizations into humanity. And Göbekli Tepe was a part of the last civilization, and they built this huge, massive structure to try to survive the end of times, and obviously they failed. And here's where it gets weird. So if you ever seen a channel on YouTube called Bright Insight, Jimmy, he's a friend of ours, he's been really going hard on the Göbekli Tepe thing because the government is now covering it up for some reason. Like they're literally covering up the archaeological dig. They're for some reason their idea is that they're gonna leave it for people in the future to find or something weird like that. And so instead of continuing to dig out and investigate Göbekli Tepe, they're putting it on mothballs. They're stopping the project, and they're literally burying parts of Göbekli Tepe for reasons that make no sense. Go look up Bright Insight on YouTube. Jimmy is a great guy, and he knows a lot more about this than I do. But this really feeds into this conspiracy theory that Göbekli Tepe isn't just an ancient site, but it has some kind of ties to something they don't want us to know about, as in like the civilization that predates our civilization and what killed them, because they don't want panic or something. I don't really know why they'd be hiding it. Why would they hide the dig? Why would they hide Göbekli Tepe? Why would they Why is there so much secrecy about this? It makes no sense. It's just a dig, right? It's archaeology. Why hide anything? But who knows why the government does stuff? But that's what feeds into these conspiracy theories when you hide things that have no reason to be hidden. None. Yeah, listen, if you're watching right now, please hit the like button. Okay? I know the conspiracy theory is probably not everyone's cup of tea. But I wanted to switch it up a little bit because I was tired of talking about Star Wars, you know? Yeah, so Rec Thought says it was buried on purpose roughly 11,000 years ago, possibly to protect it. You're right. So why are we burying it again? That's the question. I would like to know that. And Jimmy asked that question. He goes through a lot of pictures and stuff. Go watch his stuff on YouTube. It's called Bright Insight. This is what Adam Leader says. The answer is a Turkish investment company bought the dig site to turn into a tourism trap. Excavation costs money. Tourism makes it simple. Right, but why cover it up now? Why are you reburying Göbekli Tepe? Why not continue to excavate and people can come visit? I don't know. All right, let's look at another one. What do you guys want to talk about next? Any of these? If not, I'm just gonna pick one. I'm gonna pick like the craziest one. Let's go. Let's talk about. Yeah, Loch Ness is not. That's not real anymore. I don't believe in the Loch Ness monster. Okay. All right, let's just go to the top. So we've talked about Bigfoot on this channel. We've talked about Bush to 9/11. So if you don't know anything about the Bush thing, it's referring to President Bush, and there's a huge conspiracy that they allowed 9/11 to happen. Shoot, they maybe even planned it or promoted it in order to get approval to go into Iraq and take their oil. Again, I am not saying that happened, but there's a lot of information about that. There's a lot of people that believe that the Twin Towers did not fall to airplanes. They fell because it was a planned explosion and it was all some giant psyop in order to get us into war, because the giant, huge, massive, trillion-dollar industry that is the war machine, the industrial military complex that owns everything, wanted another war, and we wanted oil. And so we were on this, the world was pretty much at peace for a while. Not peace, but like, it was, there wasn't big giant wars going on. And then all of a sudden, terrorists decided to bomb the Twin Towers. So I understand where they're coming from for this one. It makes a little sense. I'm not saying I believe it. I would hate to believe that someone can be that multiple people can be that evil, and that such a large group of people would have to be silent for so long about this for it to be a real thing. But I can see where it makes sense to people that the military industrial complex wanted to go to war. And how do you go to war? There's got to be something that starts it. Makes sense. And that was a very profitable war for a lot of people. So, I don't know. That's that one. Go look it up. Again, I am not subscribing to any of these ideas. I'm not saying they're correct. I'm saying that they do exist. No need to talk about the Illuminati. Everyone, that's like mainstream conspiracy. Everyone knows that. No one knows what that is. The Simpsons, that's an interesting one. The Simpsons conspiracy is that they predict everything. They predicted, just go look up the conspiracy. Look up The Simpsons predict, and just let Google autocorrect, because it will there's so many predictions. They predicted Trump. They predicted Biden. They predicted multiple presidents, multiple wars. They predicted multiple. They predicted January 6th. They predicted so many crazy things. And I'm not sure if they actually did or if they just have been creating content for so long that when you've done everything, at some point, something's going to happen that matches with what you happen to have created 10 years ago. You know, I don't know, but it's really fun to to see that they do sort of predict things, you know, or I think it just they've produced so much content that these things tend to happen, and reality is getting more and more ridiculous. And I don't think the Simpsons are predicting us. I think we are just getting so silly that we are starting to become cartoonish. Probably. All right. What's next? Atlantis. Area 51. You guys know what this is all mainstream conspiracy. The real life Matrix, the simulation theory, is a little bit different. That's I mean, it's pretty much mainstream now, but that basically a lot of people believe that we are living in a simulation. In fact, there's some science behind it that would make sense. If civilization got to the point where it can create simulations of AI, then that AI would eventually be living its life inside of a computer somewhere. It would be living in a simulation, and eventually it would create a simulation on its own. And if we're constantly creating simulations, then how many simulations are we deep? Are we just part of this simulation that's being ran on a simulation And who is the root? Who's at the top? What civilization is at the top of the simulation? You know, it's a really cool theory. Go check it out. It's called the simulation theory. You guys all know what the Mandela effect is, right? Like I swear to God, I'm pretty sure I saw a movie in the 90s called Shazam. And apparently that didn't happen. It was called Kazam, not Shazam. I'm pretty sure that the chick with the pigtails in James Bond had braces, and apparently she didn't. The Mandela effect is basically when so many people believe in one thing that happened, but it didn't actually happen. So it's almost like the universe is not right anymore. We've all shifted into a different timeline where, James Bond girl had braces, Count Chocula didn't exist in the 1960s, and Sinbad made a movie called Shazam. Right? That kind of stuff. So like the Mandela effect is not mass hysteria. It's that our universe is constantly shifting timelines and we're remembering the previous timeline. It's cool. It's a cool idea. Yes, the Mandela effect is misnamed. Mandela didn't die in prison. That's correct. That's correct. Okay, so what's next? So gay frogs. This is actually an Alex Jones thing. Alex Jones was like, they're turning the freaking frogs gay. And what's interesting is he did say that, and they did actually, there was chemicals in the water that did trigger frogs that can normally change. So they can change sex depending on, if there's too many females or too many males in a population, they change their gender or their sex so they can reproduce. Well, there was a chemical runoff that was triggering that response, and they were turning all the frogs in a certain area into females. And so technically, that's a conspiracy theory that was proven technically right, I guess. But the way Alex Jones said it was funnier, So the Michael Obama thing. So this conspiracy is basically saying that Michelle Obama was a man. And she is a trans woman. And that the Obama's children are adopted. And that Michelle Obama is actually a friend of Obama's, from college named Michael. And there are pictures out there that really do look like Michelle Obama was previously a man. I don't know. I don't believe any of this. I'm just saying, the information's out there. It does look sort of sus. I'm just saying. You should go check it out. Okay. Reptile people. This was a good one. This is pretty mainstream. This is the Sumerian, right? Or Solarian theory. Is that that there was a previous civilization before us of people that were based on reptiles instead of mammals, and they are now living underground waiting for the planet to warm up again or something like that. Let's scroll down a little bit further. Let's go down to like the deep area. Cannibal Queen Elizabeth. This one's a good one. It's right here. So this is saying that the flesh and bones of children were found in Queen Elizabeth's freezer, and that she eats Indian children, which is why this is insane. Which is why they were so hell bent on occupying India for so long, or something. I don't believe that, by the way, just to be clear. Here's another one. The Mount Rushmore chamber. Shane was actually just at Mount Rushmore, so this is a pretty good one. There's a chamber behind, in Mount Rushmore, behind Abraham Lincoln's head. And, that chamber holds like all kinds of secrets. Like it holds the secrets of, aliens, who's really in charge. It holds the DNA of ex-presidents, whatever. There's a lot of crazy stuff people believe. One last one, and then we're going to move on. This one was great. Finland isn't real. There's an entire subreddit dedicated to this conspiracy theory that Finland, the country, isn't real. It doesn't exist. That we have been gaslit by Japan and Russia to believe that Finland's a real place. And in reality, it's just a body of water. And the people that think they're from Finland are actually from surrounding area. Surrounding area. It makes no sense. But there's an entire subreddit with a lot of people that believe that Finland isn't real. If you are from Finland and you see this, I would like you to comment on this video, please, because that sounds nuts. All right. We're running out of time. There's a lot of stuff. What we'll do is we're going to talk about, oh yeah, that was cool too, Reg. The moon did ring like a bell. It did. So the whole hollow earth, the hollow moon theory is pretty, I mean, it might be true. I can't go disprove it, but it's shaped like the moon is it's the perfect shape. It's in the perfect position between the sun and earth. It's in a perfect orbit. It never decays. Its orbit is never decaying. It's a perfect companion to Earth in every way. It would totally make sense that it was made by the previous civilization or aliens or something. I don't know. But it's pretty nuts how perfect the moon is. I know I've seen that too, Rec, where its orbit is moving away actually. But then I've also seen people that disprove that and say, well, no, it moves away for a time and then it comes back. I don't know. All I can tell you is this. Is the moon did ring, and it's literally a perfect companion to our planet. That's something to look at, you know? And for some reason, we went to the moon, and then we haven't been back since. Why? They're like, oh, well, now we don't have the technology to go back to the moon. I'm sorry, we have the technology in the 50s and 60s, but we don't have it now? What? How does that even make sense? Oh, we lost that technology. Who lost it? Who lost the technology that got us to the moon? From my perspective, it looks like you don't want to go back to the moon, which means that someone went to the moon, they saw some stuff they weren't supposed to see, they came back, they told the powers that be, a bunch of people got silenced, and we've never been back to the moon since. From my perspective, that's what it looks like. It looks like we saw something on the moon that we were not supposed to see. Either that, or we never went. So either we didn't go to the moon, and that was faked, or we went there, and it scared the crap out of the powers that be, the leadership, and we're not allowed to go back. And now we see this Artemis thing where like it's a 6-step process to get us back to the moon. Why is it so much harder to go back to the moon now than it was in the 50s? Like, someone answer me that. I now have the power of infinite information on my phone, in my hand. I'm holding it in my hand. We've created rockets that can take off, go to orbit, come back, and land on their own. Our technology is so much more advanced than it was in the 50s. And you're telling me that we are just now getting rediscovering the technology we need to get back to the moon? Do you think we're idiots? Because that sounds insane. Like, what you're saying sounds ridiculous. Now, here's like the more measured reason. We went to the moon. There's nothing there. It cost a bunch of money to go back, and there's no reason for us to go back to the moon. There's no resources. There's nothing valuable up there. And our civilization is ran primarily by capitalists and corporations. Don't get me started on that. And there's no reason to go back other than inspiration, and inspiration doesn't pay the bills. So that's a possibility too. It's entirely possible that it's just like we went, we saw nothing, we came back with nothing important, and so we're like, we're going to focus on making the internet, OnlyFans, and cool video games, and we'll leave the whole moon thing for the next people that got interested. So it's either that, we faked it, or we saw something when we weren't supposed to see. Either way, something is up. Someone needs the answer for why we haven't been back to the moon. All right. All right. It's hard to go back to the moon now because of OSHA. People don't like blowing up astronauts. Okay, we don't have to send people to the moon. We can send robots to the moon. Huh? Robots. Drones. I don't know. All right. John Burns. I see your super chat, but I'm going to read them before we leave. I don't know. What do you guys think? Can we send robots to the moon? I want to know what the dark side of the moon looks like. They're telling us we haven't seen it. I don't believe you. Anyways, John Burns for $2. So OJ didn't really do it from Undercover Brother. Yeah, there is a conspiracy that talks about OJ Simpson being set up to like cover up some stolen election or something crazy. I didn't put on the list though. Another one from John Burns. Money flown out of Iraq on 9/10. Where's that? That's a great question. And another thing about the whole Iraq thing is, why do we give them so much money? It's so crazy. China and India have robots on the moon now? Where's the pictures? Show me the pictures. I'm just saying. Show me the picture. I want to see pictures of the moon. Why is it so hard to get pictures of the moon? I don't get it. No, we have pictures of the dark side of the moon, right? And I've seen pictures, but like, are they like legit? Like real pictures? Let's find out. No, like, these are not good pictures. I want to see close-ups of the dark side of the moon. And then they do is like, oh, let's make a, the whole pop culture part of it. Like, it feels like they're hiding something on the other side of the moon when they make these massive albums called The Dark Side of the Moon. It's like, let's just make sure that the search has a hard time finding what you're looking for. Yeah, I don't know if these pictures are real. It's impossible to know. And maybe it's because I'm so tainted by everything. Like, I don't think anything's real anymore. Everything is like some doctored AI photo. We've been airbrushing pictures of the moon and Mars and stuff since the 70s. So it's really hard to believe anything anymore, man. I don't know. Why would you question pics of the dark side of the moon? Oh, I mean, because I don't believe them. Sorry. Also, all the pictures I'm seeing is like from really far away, and where is the color? How are they getting where's the light coming from? So like, if they're taking a picture of the dark side of the moon, it's the dark side of the moon. I guess it'd be coming from the sun, I suppose. I don't know, man. I don't know, but it sounds crazy. All right. We're going to the member section. It started 2 minutes ago. It's really simple to get there. If you're a member, just stay right here. And it should just forward you onto the member section. And if you're not a member and you want to become a member, hit the join button below. Either way, I'll see you in a few minutes, and we're going to be looking at Star Wars memes that are pretty funny. Hope you can join me. I was about to say us. Hope you join me in the member section. Either way, we love you. For everyone that can't, they're going to watch us later on. Thank you for supporting us. Come back on Saturday for the Salty Saturday show. See you in a few minutes.
Nothing is impossible. Just do it. Do it. Just do it. Yes, you can. Just do it!